What is going on YouTube? Travis Ziliox back here with another moto vlog. Today I am going to change the oil in the 450 here. I really needed to change it, well, wanted to change it last fall before I put it away for the winter. I had a few hours on it, and then I got it out and rode it quite a bit so far this spring already, so it's definitely due for an oil change. Probably has a couple more hours on the oil than what I would want, but we're gonna go ahead and take care of that today. I went to our local hardware store in town, got my brand new 2020 DNR ORV stickers. Now I'm legal to go out in the trails again for another year. So we're gonna change the oil in this beast, and then we're gonna go ride on the ORV trails again today. And then once we get all done, I'm gonna end up washing this thing. So let's get to it. Alright guys, I just went ahead and let the 450 warm up for a few minutes. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the drain pan and everything that I need to drain the oil out of this and change it. Alright, so I'm a 09 YZ 450. There's two drain plugs on each side. So I always do the, drain pan. So what I do first is I always do the left side first usually. You take that vent hose, move it out of the way, and both drain plugs are 12 millimeter. First one's right here. I'm gonna have to put this down. Make sure miss the drain pan shooting out too far. Oh yeah, she was dark. Definitely needed to be changed. So that's draining. So I'll let that drain out. And then I'm gonna go ahead, and this triangle stand here, I'll put it on the other side of the bike to have it lean the opposite direction for the other drain plug. And the other drain plug is right here. It's kind of hard to get in there with a ratchet, so I usually just use a 12 millimeter ratchet wrench for that side. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll get to putting some fresh oil in it. Alright guys, now we got oil drained out of both sides. The last part I need to do before I can put the new oil in it is take the old oil filter off, which covers right there, and takes a 5 millimeter T-handle Allen wrench. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of that, put the new filter in it, and we should be good to go. Put some new oil in it. Alright guys, so we got the old filter out. There it is right there. Here's the new one. This is actually a Yamaha OEM filter. Usually I don't get OEM filters because I went to the local Yamaha dealer, and this filter is like $13 from the dealer, which I usually go to either motosport.com or rockymountainatvmc.com and get I usually buy them in bulk. I get about 5 or 6 of them. They're usually like Philgard brand, and they're only about $5.99 a piece. So if you're looking to save a little bit of money and stock up on oil filters, that's a cheap route to go. And a big thing about putting your oil filter in is making sure it goes on correctly. Because I've had, actually one of my buddies, Brandon, purchased a 2005 Honda CRF 450X, and the person he bought it from did not put the oil filter in right. They actually put it in backwards, which I don't know how you could do that, because at least on my bike it only goes on one way. And my buddy rode it for about a month and ended up blowing up on him. So at least on mine, you see there's this hole here where this little flap goes in, and it can't go in far enough on this side, so it's pretty obvious which end it goes on. But just making sure you be careful and watch for simple things like that can really extend the longevity of your motorcycle. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this filter in and fill it up with some fresh oil, and we should be about done. Alright guys, I'm going to share something with you real quick before I go ahead and put the new oil on my bike. There's a lot of manufacturers out there that make their own oil. Yamalube, Honda, HP4. There's different brands for different makes and models or whatever. And I've came across some of the best oil, and a lot of people have used this and never had any problems. Shell Rotella 1540. Now a lot of people, their first reaction, oh well, this is used in diesel motors and this is for big trucks and all sorts of stuff. But I have talked to many different people, many different mechanics, and that's all they run in their bikes, and they've never had any problems. I ride this bike pretty hard, and I haven't had any issues with it since I've owned it. And if you don't believe me, a really good bike builder out in California, does a lot of videos. I'm sure you've heard of him. His name's Jay Clark. He has his Dirt Bike TV channel on YouTube. Go check him out. He actually has a video on YouTube that it talks about some of the most important and useful chemicals and oils you could have in your shop for working on bikes and having bikes. And one of the first things he talks about is Shell Rotella 1540. Very inexpensive, good quality. It has all the additives for wet clutches and everything else, so if you're worried about that, don't be. So it's definitely some good oil, and if you're looking to save a few dollars every time you go to change your oil on your bike, you can get a whole gallon of this for $15 instead of paying $15 for a quart of whatever brand oil you usually use. And I've never ran synthetic in any of my bikes. I think that's a gimmick. You know, you put pretty much all it is, you can go put more hours on your oil without having to change it. It's really all it is. So I just save money. I've always bought conventional oil, and the Shell Rotella has never done me wrong. So if you guys are looking to save some money and you ride a lot and really care about the internals of your engine, I mean, these bikes have big price tags on them. So I wouldn't tell you guys to use something that I wouldn't trust. So if you guys are looking to save some money for your oil, I would definitely recommend some Shell Rotella 1540. But I'm going to go ahead and fill it up. Without putting a new filter in, my bike takes exactly 1 quart, but I did put a new filter in it, so it takes 1.06 quarts, or 1 600ths of a quart, however you want to call it. But I'm going to go ahead and fill the bike up, go outside, start it, let it idle for a few minutes, check the dipstick, make sure it's at the right level it needs to be at, and then we're going to suit up and go rip some more RV trails. Alright guys, I took the bike back outside, let it warm up for a minute, and checked the oil level on the dipstick, and everything's perfect. When you guys are doing that, just make sure that the bike's level. I always make sure, just so you get an accurate reading. I mean, you could probably do it on a box stand. It'd probably be pretty level, but I usually try to do it with the tires on the garage floor and just hold it upright with my hand and make sure it's level as possible, just so you get a real accurate reading. But I'm gonna go ahead, throw the rest of my gear on and let the bike warm up for a few minutes, and then throw on the camera and we'll hit the trails. about these wide open sandy trails. I love the sand, but this tight technical stuff is definitely more fun. Just gotta watch out in this trail. There's a lot of tree roots and stumps. Definitely kind of sketchy. Alright guys, we made it to the River Road trailhead, kind of headed over towards Oscoda. We hit Trail 6 and rode that east until we hit this little 50-inch or less trail and then came over to this trailhead. If you kept going to the east, you'd end up over by the dam store in Oscoda, which I thought about going all the way over there, but you get close and there's actually some really shady spots that are always usually pretty muddy, and I didn't really want to try to maneuver through all that, and I wanted to hit this tight trail because I knew it was here and I hadn't rode it in a while and stuff, so it was pretty cool to ride it. But I tell you what, there's definitely some big tree roots and some stumps in it. I had a couple close calls and went off the trail once or twice just coming into corners too hot. That's why sometimes riding this 450 and some tight stuff can be kind of tough, because it can be kind of unpredictable because it just has so much power. So trying to weave through all that stuff sometimes can be a little sketchy, but that's one of the many reasons why I love the sport. Like you have to be really attentive, and it's very easy to make mistakes. So and you can very easily get hurt if you don't know what you're doing. Like I said in my very first video when I was starting to do these vlogs, I broke my wrist and messed my knees up riding and stuff, but luckily I haven't messed myself up as many people had to the point where they can't ride anymore. And there's been a few people within motocross, whether it was racing or freestyle or whatever, that have actually lost their lives. So it definitely can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing or if you make a big mistake. But that's what keeps me into it. Them little adrenaline spikes where, ooh, I probably should have went down, I don't know how I saved it, and then you just keep on ripping. That's what I love about this. You know, there's nothing else like it to me. But tell you what, it's definitely a lot of fun to rip down that trail. I'm just glad that I'm in good health right now during this quarantine period. I hope all of you guys are too, and everybody in the moto community is able to find ways to ride. And if you can't ride right now, if you don't have anywhere to go, hopefully soon this will clear up so you guys will be able to get back out on the track and trail soon. But another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, leave thoughts down in the comments. I don't know if it's because I have a heavy throttle hand and I like to be in the pipe all the time and there's always 55 horse tugging on this chain or what, but I have never went through chains so much on a bike in my life. Because the other day before I went to go ride on the ORV trails for the last episode, I had to cut a couple links out of my chain and everything because I was trying to adjust it and it wasn't working right. Well, I didn't really notice my axle was back as far as it could go. I just wasn't paying attention. So definitely let me know if you guys have experienced like going through a lot of chains on your bikes, or if it's something I'm doing wrong, whether I'm adjusting it to where my wheel's not perfectly square and it's making it wear faster or whatnot. But please let me know, because if I can find a way to save my chains and make them last a little bit longer, that'd be pretty cool. But we're gonna head back in a few minutes, start making our way back towards the house, and then when we get back, we're gonna put this baby up on the box stand and give her a bath, because I've pretty much been riding her all spring so far this year and I haven't really washed it yet. So I definitely want to wash it and get her cleaned up and looking good. So we'll get back to the house here shortly. Tell you guys why I look at this map, all the orange on here is all like 50-inch or less trails. Like the really tight ones that are right here that we just came off of a few minutes ago. I wish there was more of them around here. There's some up here towards Glenny and over by Oscoda and everything like that, but I wish there was more closer to my house, because my house is like right here. So, and then that's where that little 2-track picks up at the snowmobile trail. And then when I took off riding today, I came down this road and then I just cut down here, hopped on trail 6, went to the first stop sign, and then started making my way over to Oscoda. And then this is the tight trail right here that I just rode here to the trailhead, and this is where we're at right now. So we're just gonna take that back. so we made it back to the house. Sorry I wasn't able to get any footage on the way home really all that much, besides that one little tight trail and then out in the open trails just for a second. I don't know what it is, but seems like these newer GoPros have a lot worse battery life than the older ones. Like I said, I had a GoPro 3 Hero White Edition, and the battery life on it was actually pretty impressive. But then again, over the years, GoPro has really stepped up the game with their resolution and stuff like that. So I mean, it's pumping out some good footage, so I don't expect the battery to live forever, but I probably could have let it charge a little bit more before I left. I guess I could get a little bit better with making sure the battery's gonna last long enough while I'm out riding and everything else. But got the bike back here. We're gonna go ahead and wash it. Usually when I wash it, I like to use the power washer most of the time, but I've had pretty bad luck with the power washer blasting off stickers and graphics and stuff. So I'm just gonna use the hose. We got a nozzle on it over there, and then usually I just get the whole bike wet with water, and I spray it down with mean green and let it soak for a few minutes. And then I'll spray mean green on the seat, and I'll take this bristle brush and scrub it real good. Make sure you get all the stains out. Some of these stains will like to stay in here, and usually I get a lot right here because my pants will get a little dirty, then they'll rub on the seat. So the bristle brush helps get them out. And then once I get it all done, I take this Maxima SC1 spray, which is actually pretty cool. Usually spray it on the fenders and the motor and everything like that, just to kind of places where dirt really easily gets stuck. It helps prevent the dirt from sticking so easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash the bike up real quick. Alright guys, I got the bike all cleaned up and it looks like brand new now. Looks like a totally different bike now that it's actually clean. It definitely took a lot longer than going ahead and just using the power washer, but like I said, I didn't want to take a chance of knocking the nice graphics off. So definitely took a little bit more elbow grease and about a whole bottle of mean green, but we got her done. And I tell you what, that Maxima SC1 spray really helps it shine. It looks great. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. Please like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.